There has been some decent results for Scottish teams in Europe this season. However, the end result is looking far from decent as Scotland are set to lose some guaranteed places. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. Scotland's coefficient has been pretty good over the last number of years. We've enjoyed three teams in Europe past September. We've enjoyed three teams competing in group stage football. We've enjoyed this season where you had Celtic in the Champions League, but it looks like that could be about to come to an end because Scotland have took a bit of a battering, so to speak, over the years, and it doesn't really help that our nearest rivals, the Turkish League and the Czech Republican League, over the past couple of seasons, they seem to be thriving, whereas Scotland just seem to be a little bit stagnant. So we're going to talk about it here today. BBC Sport released an article basically explaining the situation that we're in next season, and there's a chance that we will have no Scottish team in the new Champions League format.
We've dropped the ball over the years, and as you said, the other nations, they've picked up the baton and ran into the finishing line. As for us, I mean, there's a lot of failures, right, that we can, you know, you can blame some teams more than others, but reality is, as a collective unit, folks, it's not been good enough. Nowhere near good enough. It's bogging. I mean, we put this third spot in the Holy Grail, and you know what, we've become accustomed to it the last couple of years, Hearts and Aberdeen, right? But both of them have dropped the ball.
Yeah, over the past 5 seasons, there's just been way too many unacceptable results that Scottish teams have had against, like, I'm talking minnows.
Yeah, like the diddiest of the diddies.
Like, I mean, yeah, Hearts should have been in the knockout stages, should have finished in the top 24. And we've seen Scottish teams, like, maybe lose the first leg. We've seen Rangers do it against USG. We've seen Hibernian do it in Malta, or was it Liechtenstein? Either way, the point stands.
Andorra.
Yeah, Hibernian, they won comfortably in the second leg, but that losing the first leg should never have happened. And all those coefficient points add up. We're talking one win here or one win there could be the difference between Scotland staying in the top 10 or Scotland dropping out the top 10. And as things stand, we've dropped out the top 10, and sadly we don't look like we're going to be getting in it any time soon because obviously there is a 5-year swing on these coefficients. So Scotland's UEFA coefficient has taken a battering over the last few years, and the consequences are about to be felt. Likely Premiership winner Celtic are not guaranteed an automatic berth in next season's Champions League. Instead, they will have to negotiate a playoff round to earn a place among the elite, and Scotland's runner-ups will have 3 rounds to get through. So at the moment, we expect Celtic to win the league. We expect Rangers to finish second. We're going to look at 4 ties that will need to be won by Scottish teams to get 2 teams in the Champions League. Whereas this year, Celtic were guaranteed to be in it, and Rangers, I believe, only had to win 2 ties, which they were unsuccessful in doing. But just next season, the amount of ties needed for 2 teams in this new group phase league format is doubled from 2 to 4.
No, it has doubled. And who's this affect worse, in my opinion? Well, I think it's got to be Celtic. I mean, Rangers, yeah, they've still got to go through qualifiers. Just another, tie, I guess. But, I mean, the second qualifying
The only thing for Celtic is, though, I still believe that they will have a league phase and a champions phase. And I think the champions path will be a lot easier.
I agree with that. But at the same time, with Celtic, if this is like a few years ago, I think you'd be more worried. I think Celtic have shown this season they've nothing to be afraid of. But what I will say is, they can't be doing what they did in the summer, which is they left the business late, and neither can Rangers. See this, we've got guys at IKEA, and we don't want to sign guys to the deadline day. You need to have a team ready for these qualifiers, regardless if it's second round or playoff round. You can't afford to, let it slide.
Yeah, you got to factor in, though, Celtic will be playing a champion from a league that doesn't automatically qualify for the Champions League. So therefore, yes, Celtic will be playing someone that's won a league, but it's not going to be a top nation. It's going to be a fellow nation that is also not guaranteed a spot in the league phase. So even though Celtic are going to be playing a league winner, I still don't expect that league winner to be of great quality, and I think that Celtic will probably be favourite regardless of who they get, because they're probably going to be getting. There's not many nations higher than Scotland whose league winner doesn't automatically go in. So
Yeah.
I think that Celtic will probably be the strongest team in their path, but that doesn't mean that they're guaranteed to go through.
I mean, to hazard a guess, who would you say is the best team that they could get? Like Nate, like a Bodo Glimt or Norway.
I'm thinking maybe not. What about Denmark, like a Copenhagen or something, or Sweden,
Yeah.
like a Malmo? I'm thinking maybe along those lines.
It's far from ideal. You know what I mean?
Greece, maybe like a Panathinaikos, Olympiacos. I think that's the kind of level that we're talking here. Whoever,
Right.
but Celtic are not going. You know, do you know what I mean? Though I think it's the top. Is it top 15? Or the top 12 or 13? It's like the top 13. I think leagues. The winner is guaranteed. So, it's going to be a non-elite nation, and Celtic will be in the champions path. So, look, I think they'll still qualify, but it's not the same as being guaranteed a spot.
Oh, absolutely not. And it does hamper your transfer business. Like, maybe Celtic won't spend too much before it because they're not guaranteed the money, despite having loads in the bank. It's just one of those things, and we could see Celtic playing in the minor leagues.
It could suit. Now, Rangers, they'll have to get through 3 ties, and I expect them to be up against similar level of opposition that they would have got this year. I think the only difference is they'll have an extra game to navigate. And
Yeah, there's a positive to this. 2 extra games for the coefficient.
if you win them.
Yeah, if you win them. That's the conundrum. But here, Rangers, the 49ers, if they're fucking serious about wanting Champions League football, well then, you know what you do? You have a team ready for July. End of July when these qualifiers come about. It's that simple.
And Rangers have beat... Don't get me wrong, Rangers have beat teams. I mean, they beat Fenerbahce, and that's the kind of level of teams that Rangers will likely have to navigate and get past 3 ties in order to qualify. So, here, they can do it. But winning 3 ties in a row against that kind of level of opposition is tough.
No, it is. Of course it is.
Although you'd have to assume that maybe in the first round they'll be against because they're higher seeded. It won't be as difficult. But I think qualifying rounds when you're having to beat 3 teams in a row, then that is obviously there's room for failure.
Tell you
there.
what, I can accept going out, but see if the team's not ready, I'll go ape shit.
Put it this way,
Tune in July,
let's have a quick prediction here. Which competition do you think is more likely to feature 2 Scottish teams? Or let's say the Old Firm next season, the Champions League or the Europa League?
Europa League every day of the week.
Europa League, right? Anyway,
No, because let's be honest, man. It's like you're right. Rangers have to negotiate 6 games, 3 ties, and Celtic. Well, I mean, they could get a really tough game. We don't know.
Yeah, but that's not all. The pain will increase further the following season too. Next year's Scottish Cup winners or 3rd place Premiership side will no longer be guaranteed league phase football. And to me, that is the big one, because I just think you've a lot more faith in Celtic and Rangers coming through qualifying rounds than you do other teams in Scotland.
No, absolutely. And I think the problem here is we've seen, even with favourable ties in the qualifying rounds, our teams can't do it.
Yeah, well, they've had 3 attempts and we've seen that they fail every time and get eliminated and knocked into the Europa Conference League. This time they won't have it.
I'm fucking sick of but you're not sick of the rhetoric of, well, they're halfway through their season, we're just starting ours. It's the same pish every fucking season. Learn that. It's not like Hearts find out, oh fuck, we're in the playoff round on the day of it. In May? When the season fucking ends?
No, 100%. So
honestly, I just don't get it, man. Yeah, there's other leagues that start in January and February and they end in like November, but we know this. It's like it's just a pathetic excuse. It's just an excuse for piss poor management. That's all it is. But here, whoever gets further wins the Scottish Cup or whatever. I'm looking forward to another team for at least one more year getting into it. But you're right. I think the 2026-7 season. It will be sad if we've only got 2 teams in Scotland in European competition.
I think that the third best team in Scotland should be able to win a playoff against the opposition that you kind of get at that level in that round. I think that a good Aberdeen or a good Hearts or a current Hibernian who are playing really good, I think they should be able to win those kind of ties. But
is it going to work out though that they're guaranteed like a playoff round at least in the Conference League?
I mean, it could work out that way, but they're going to have to win something. They're going to have to win a tie.
Well, let's say it works out that way, right? We look at like Lorne, Shamrock Rovers, TNS.
If they get the Champions Path, big difference.
Aye, big difference. But look at not every team in that Conference League has did the Champions Path. Look, there's some shite in there. Borak.
No, but there's a big difference
between Jagielka.
There's a big difference between those teams getting the Champions Path and the path that there's teams in Scotland that finish further win the Scottish Cup have to take.
There is, but let's not pretend, man, that. I mean, I get it, but that's the advantage that like TNS and all deserve. They won their league.
Yeah, I'm not denying that, but your point is like, that's not an excuse. I'm not saying it's a fact though. It's a fact that Hearts Aberdeen will have a much harder task going through their fate, their path than a TNS will. So you can't really make excuses here. Like no one's claiming that TNS should have to beat the same level of opposition that the team that's fourth or third in Scotland should have to. But the fact is that it is harder.
And I think that's the positives of it though. If you win a league like the Welsh League, if you win like one or two games, you have a really good chance of a playoff round.
You do. But how has this happened? How has Scotland fallen out? Well, title winners from nations outside of UEFA's top 10 do not have direct entry to the Champions League and have to go through qualifiers. Since 2021, Scotland have been in that coveted bracket, with Rangers' run to the Europa League final the campaign after further strengthening that position. However, the disappointing 2022-2023 season hugely damaged Scotland's 5-year average and has caused them to slip down the table. Mercifully, the success of Celtic and Rangers in this campaign has ensured that the figure will actually rise for next term despite the loss of 2021 points. But retaining that top 10 slot always seemed unlikely given Scotland started this season in 17th place. So, for me, like Scotland, because of that 2022-2023 season, we're going to feel the effects of that until that falls off.
Which is 27-28, something like that.
Yeah.
That's a long time away.
So then the next few seasons, despite how well we do, the likelihood is we're still going to be outside the top 10 because that season's going to weigh us down.
Yeah, and you know what, man? It was disastrous, man. There's no two ways about it, yeah.
Because, look, this season's actually been alright. Could it have been better? Absolutely.
Oh, aye, yeah.
Should Hearts have won more games? Yes. Could Celtic have maybe got an extra win in there somewhere? Yes. Could Rangers have maybe got a better result? Could they have maybe won against Dynamo Kiev and gained some more? Absolutely, but results haven't been that bad. I mean, you look at last season, wasn't really the end of the... I mean, Celtic got a win in the group stage, they got a draw as well. Aberdeen picked up some decent results. Can't really remember what Rangers done, but I'm sure they did all right.
Last year?
Aye, because they always do well.
We got the last 16, aye.
So, last
year... Top the group, sure.
Last year...
Betis home and away.
Oh, I remember now. So I had that bad result, didn't I, against that?
1 point out of 6 against Aris Limassol. That's costing you.
See, that should be... I don't want to say that should be 6 points, but
it should be.
It could be, and it would help the coefficient. So
problem is, though, you've picked up 1 out of 6 against them, but 6 out of 6 against Betis. It masks it.
So yeah, I mean, look, before the 2022 and 2023 season, we had a couple of really good seasons. Obviously, Rangers got to the final, and then after that, we've had a couple of decent seasons as well. But it's that season in the middle that's fucking us over, and we're not really going to be back in the top 10 while that season's still dragging us down because it was a really poor season.
Yeah.
I don't have to remind you of what happened that year for Rangers in the Champions League.
No, you don't.
So
I feel like everything's fucking just comes back to bite Rangers in the arse recently.
Yeah, it does. So, let's see what else. Even hopes of securing a top 12 place that guarantees 3 clubs in the league stages have now been scuppered after Molde's Europa League win over Legia Warsaw last week moved Norway out of reach in 12th. That means that while the likes of Aberdeen, Hearts, Hibernian and Dundee United still have that lucrative chance of multiple continental contests next season, qualifiers would need to be overcome to reap the rewards the following year. So I believe that whoever wins the Scottish Cup or finishes fourth, they will still go into the Europa League. However, they won't go into the Europa League playoff round. They'll probably go into the Europa League third qualifying round.
Yep.
Then that means that if they lose that, they drop into the Europa Conference League playoff round. Or they could start even lower than the third qualifying round. But they won't start in the playoffs, so therefore they'll still get 2 cracks at the cherry, but they're going to have to take one of them.
Yeah. Positives. It's more games for us to review. I do like that stage of the season. I do think July, August is a great part of the season for the qualifiers.
No, it is. Is there any good news, though? There is some light amid the gloom, yes. Rangers' 3-1 win over Fenerbahce in Turkey has gone a long way to protecting a place in UEFA's top 15. With that comes 5 places in Europe and 2 in the Champions League, albeit starting in the qualifiers. But to begin climbing above the likes of Turkey, Greece, Norway and Austria and back towards that top 10, clubs from outside of Glasgow's Big Two will have to do their bit. This term broadly keeping with others' recent seasons, more than 75% of Scotland's 44.25 ranking points have come from Celtic and Rangers. But the nations sitting above Scotland have 3rd, 4th or even 5th teams making inroads in these tournaments and winning games on a consistent basis. And that right there, guys, that is the problem. You look at Turkey, you look at Greece, you look at Norway. They have clubs that outside of their top 2 can consistently win games and can even go far in these competitions. Scotland just have not shown that.
You know what's mental to me, right? See Turkey, they've got a lot of top clubs like Fenerbahce, wee club Galatasaray, right? You know, Besiktas, teams like that. But see,
Istanbul have improved over the years.
See Greece, right? Yeah, I think the Greek league's very mediocre. I do. I'd say our league is above it, even the coefficient is not. Right? Norway, Bodo Glimt are good, but the rest are pretty shite. Rosenborg are nowhere near what they used to be. In Austria, with Lask and whoever else, Storm Graz. I think for us to be beneath Greece, Norway and Austria is actually pathetic. No, do you not think so though? Because when I look at it, it's like, see when you see these Champions League draws or you see the European nights or whatever, and you see like a last 16 or a group stage or a league stage draw, like Rangers and Celtic, they stick out. See when you see Storm Graz going in the same group as like a Liverpool, no one gives a fuck.
Well, let's have a look at the teams above us then. Let's go directly with... I mean, if we look at the five nations directly above us, so for Scotland, Rangers have picked up 17.75 coefficient points, Celtic 17, Hearts 5, Kilmarnock 2.5, and St Mirren 2. So the combined coefficient points of Hearts, Kilmarnock, and St Mirren don't even reach 10. Let's have a look at... Let's go Austria, the team directly above us, in the coefficient. Straight away, their 3rd place team, Sturm Graz, have 10 coefficient points. So Sturm Graz alone have got more points than Hearts, Kelly and St Mirren. So you can run down these leagues like you did there. Oh, I don't think they're that good. Well, Sturm Graz are the 3rd team in Austria, and they've picked up more than Hearts, Kilmarnock and St Mirren combined.
You know what's crucial though, for me? See Rapid Vienna, they're in the Conference League and they are absolutely flying. 13 games, 8 wins.
No, that's really irrelevant here, because we're not talking...
It's irrelevant, but what we need is, see the lower competitions, we need Hearts, Aberdeen, whoever's in it, to fucking win a load of games. That's what you need.
But that's not happening.
I know it's not fucking happening. We need to take advantage of the lower competitions. Obviously, Celtic in the Champions League. Celtic in the Champions League shouldn't be winning anywhere near the amount of games that you would expect them to win the Conference League, and therefore it should be the same way any other team that goes into the Conference League. Conference League should be looking to farm it.
Yeah, but you were saying that these teams have nothing really outside. Oh, they have nothing outside their top. But the 3rd best team.
I was talking more in comparison to Celtic Rangers. There's no one near them.
All right, well,
and that's what we need the rest of the league.
Yes,
to
but the 3rd highest team with the coefficient points in Austria are beating the 3 teams in Scotland combined.
Well, it's no good enough.
Well, no, you're right. Well, let's move into Norway then in 12. Let's see how they're doing. So, all right, they're struggling, but I mean, Bodo Glimt's literally carrying them. You've got Bodo Glimt on 24 coefficient points.
So St Mirren no beat Brann.
No, I think they did.
So St Mirren did their part against the Norwegian
So
team.
yeah, Norwegian, Norway, their bottom two teams aren't doing great, but their top two teams are overperforming.
Did Kelly no beat Tromsø as well?
I think they did, because they got. Remember, it was a double header.
Aye.
So I mean, at least they knocked them out. But
And we battered them.
But here the point remains that they've got decent. They've got their top two teams doing pretty well. Greece, a nation that you kind of buried there. Let's see how they're doing. Let's see. So again, their third highest team with the coefficients is PAC, and they've got 12.25 coefficient points, which again is more than Hearts, Kilmarnock, and St Mirren combined.
But look at the amount of games PAC have played, folks. Right, 16 of Panathinaikos, 15. It saves. I mean, we don't want it, right? We want the top of our teams to be in the Champions League, but it saves Celtic and Rangers went into the Conference League.
That could be the best thing for it. Well, they can't, but I mean.
No, but you know what I mean? Obviously, yes, the points aren't worth as much, right? But you would be winning shitloads of games.
And you would go further.
Aye, easy, yeah.
I know the Champions League points are worth more, but I think next season, if Celtic dropped in to the Europa League, from a Scottish perspective, you
would be the end of the world.
You could consider that positive.
Yep.
Because you would expect Celtic to comfortably make it into the top 24. I'd probably expect them to make it into the top 8.
Yeah, no, me too, aye.
So
depends on the draw, obviously.
No, it does depend on the draw, but I mean, I would expect Rangers and Celtic both to be in the knockout stages.
Yes.
If they were in the Conference League, I think you'd be expecting them to
top 8 every day of the week.
You could see a final. As long as you fight Chelsea,
Aye, no, you could, and well, whoever's in it next year.
Turkey. Let's see how Turkey are doing. So they're the team that is in the last spot in the top 10. We want to catch them. And again, their third place team, Istanbul, have got 10.5 coefficient points. Once again, that's more than Hearts, Kelly, St Mirren combined.
It's no good. It really just highlights how it's no good enough.
And then Czech, who is like the last team I believe that we can realistically catch when you look at the leagues. I think that Czechs, that's the last league that we can catch. You've got their third place team, Madlav Boleslav. Don't even know really much about them, and they've got 9 coefficient points, which is just 0.5 less than the Scottish teams.
But they were in the Conference League, and again, it's easier. So, Conference League's where it's at.
Yeah, Hearts were in the Conference League. What did they do?
I pointed it out though. Hearts needed to beat Petrocub. They've let the nation down.
See, if Hearts beat Petrocub, right? You're adding more coefficient, but then you're getting an extra 2 games.
Yeah.
Or even if you don't go through, even pick up a draw, you pick up a win, and that can be the difference.
Yeah. No, of course.
So yeah, I mean, you know what? It sucks, but I think next season, with the potential now that both old firm teams could be in the Europa League, I don't think that would be the end of the world.
No, but it's essentially, you get what, 2 36 team leagues, and then is it Conference League 36 as well?
Nah, aye.
So yeah, I mean, you're looking at 108 teams, right, in Europe. Now, obviously, it's not technically the best 108 teams in the world, but I mean, Hearts finished in the bottom 12 at 108 teams. It's like, it shouldn't be that way, man.
No.
Especially when you look at some of the quality in that Conference League. Drop the ball big time.
And I know you wouldn't want this, but I mean, I think it'd be good if Rangers were in the Conference League.
Yo, I wouldn't want it, right? Because obviously less money and things like that. But I would genuinely be intrigued to see what would happen if Rangers did go in the Conference League, and Celtic as well. I would like to see how far they would go.
But I just don't really see it ever going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't think it's there now. I don't think the ability.
So I believe Rangers still guaranteed Europa League next season.
I just don't.
Actually, they might not be with 3 qualifying rounds to negotiate.
Not too sure, but I don't think Rangers can drop into the Conference League.
Yeah, but say they went out in the second qualifying round of the Champions League next season.
Maybe they get nothing. I don't know.
No, they wouldn't get nothing. But
I don't think Rangers can drop into the Conference League.
We'll see, folks. We'll see. But anyway, that is where we're going to leave it. A lot to talk about, a lot of drama. But hopefully, Rangers, tomorrow, can beat Fenerbahce and put us further up that ladder. Isn't that right?
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so, guys. The special one versus the special hunt. We'll be there. Till then, peace.